Same participating. Yeah, to be that. Nobody's gonna get back here.
You know. Back at the same
Call the meeting of, regular council meeting of June 10th to order. Roll call, Scott,
Here.
Beauregard,
Here.
Grams, here, Kramer, here. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
First up is number 3, the consent agenda. Did everyone have a chance to read through that? If there's no questions or comments, I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Make that motion.
Is there a second? I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 7, guests and citizens. Is there anyone who would like to get up and speak? State your name and address, please.
Nancy Mulhoy Langs. I'd just like to know what we know about the Bow School now. I know we got the grant. Has it gone, I mean, is the state now free to do what it needs to do? Is the city?
The county got the grant to help tear it
Yes.
down. So we're still working with the county, trying to figure out a plan.
Have we met with them?
Any update? We have not met yet. The county was waiting to meet with IRRR before they met with us.
And that fund doesn't come through until next year, correct?
Correct.
The 500 doesn't come till next year.
It's in the next year budget.
Next fiscal year, next fiscal year.
Are we aware of what it's gonna cost, so we know what else we need to raise, so we can start looking funds before it's here?
That's where we're planning on talking about with St. Louis County when we get to them.
Cause I would imagine it's gonna be way more than 500,000 in dollars. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, reports from staff, City Administrator Lanning. The disc golf course is officially open in the Midway area. Public Works does have a few finishing touches to put on it, but it is playable. The library does have discs available for checkout. Additionally, Wawabic is currently borrowing one of our ambulances. Both of their rigs went down, and so they will have it until one of their rigs is back up and running. All right, Public Works Director, set there.
Yeah, as Becky stated, there will be some finishing touches to the disc golf course, as someone moves along here, we'll be doing a little bit more landscaping around some of the holes that are in the woods, cleaning up some stuff there. Curb cleanup started today. Today was applying to the scrap iron piers, etc. That went fairly well. Numbers and mirrors, I can tell, were a little bit down from previous years. But I also want to remind the public, we also changed the way we're doing things this year. It's not a free for all, if you will, the way it has been the past couple of years. On Wednesday, when the garbage truck goes around, they are not taking furniture or large items. This year, everything they pick up is supposed to fit in a plastic bag, a contractor size garbage bag. So as I went around town today, I noticed a lot of people are participating. There's a lot of stuff on the curbs, but most of it's not in the plastic bags. If you would and have time, get it in the plastic bag, because East Mesabi Sanitation, when they go around Wednesday, if they don't pick up what's not in bags, then I'm not gonna be able to help you there when you call and say we missed your stuff. So that's the new rule, and if you want that stuff picked up, get it in bags. Also, I see a lot of people are taking down trees at this time and whatever, piling it on the curbs. Again, we ask that all the tree branches be in 6 foot lengths and separate piles. So your whole boulevard is one continuous pile hanging together. When we go grab it with the skid steer grapple bucket, I mean, literally, we grab one end of the pile, the whole pile. So please stack it in 6 foot piles. The Midway project, quite a few finishing touches are being done over there on the pavilion portion of it. Many of you may have noticed the fence has gone around the tennis court / skate park area. That area is getting re-blacktop milled and overlaid. And the new fence will be installed after the blacktopping is done, so. Blacktopping is the key to the whole project over there now. The landscaping around the new pavilion will be finished once the blacktopping is done, the fence will be put up once the blacktopping is done, everything is kind of inching on blacktop. So, that's all I've got.
So any update on the timeline or when the blacktop might start?
Your guess is as good as mine. I did see the contractor who is doing the blacktopping portion of the project. In Aurora last week, or 2 weeks ago, they were in town. Did the splash pad parking lot over there. They're working at the Wada campground, so I know they're in the area. I've been told when they're in the area, we'll be getting done, but that's about all I can tell you.
And Kenny, will the basketball courts be blacktop too when they come?
Correct, yeah, the basketball court, over on the corner of West over in Kennedy there, that's waiting on blacktop from the same contractor as well, so. They told me they prefer when they come to town with all their equipment to do everything at once, and we're ready for
All right, thank you.
them. Yep.
Did you turn your shop?
I don't think.
What's from elected officials, Counselor Kramer?
I would just like to thank all of the folks from the city of Great Lakes EMS as well as other agencies that assisted in the Stephen Chambers fire for, all of that hard work and making sure that people were lost. That's all I have.
I have nothing to report. Counselor Borger?
Nothing there.
Counselor Scott?
No.
Right. Then we go on to old business, 10.1, facilities use agreement with the Ranger ATV Snowmobile Club. At the last meeting, there was some discussion on having them sign a facility use agreement, and that was drafted and provided to them. They have a meeting June 12th, so we'll have an update after their meeting on that. 10.2 is the conflict of interest policy. At the last meeting, or the last 2 meetings, I believe it was an anti-nepotism policy. Counselor Scott has provided some information. We found a old conflict of interest policy that hadn't been updated since 1990. So we kind of combined all that information into one policy. So if anyone, is there any other thing to add on that? So is there any discussion to be had on that?
So the personnel committee met about this,
Yeah,
and who's on that committee?
myself, Counselor Kramer, and Becky Lenz. Was there any other paragraphs to discuss on that?
In the part-time employee part, it says, as such, the city exempts part-time employees from being supervised by a related person. I guess Chris Roney has a little confused with the wording by that, which essentially you're saying that part-time employee can be supervised by a related person. Correct.
Yeah, so that your part-time employees are exempt, it's full-time employees. The paragraph before that is so part-time or exempt.
And then in this part, it says the city, if the city administrator is related to all the citizens regarding so and so, it should be brought to the personnel committee. So your mom,
That's a separate organization, the life that's supervised by the library, board, by state statute, not by state.
If there was ever an incident where you had a relative and you sit on the personnel committee, would there be their counselor added to it, or would it just be the remaining members?
That would be a quorum, it would more than likely be the city attorney.
I'm sorry, can you repeat who's on it, please?
Myself, Counselor Kramer, and Administrator Lanning. The personnel committee, Dave is, as mayor, was on it, so for now I'm filling in that role.
If you were to get sick or injured, Becky, who would replace you and take on kind of your job duties?
Well, I have a deputy, but there's not really anyone that's prosecuting the job.
Who's the deputy?
Karen? Spencer?
So she'd be like an acting supervisor, with supervisors,
No. No,
so it wouldn't be a conflict with this. Anyway.
no, it's a non-supervisory role.
Mhm.
Anyone who steps into this role as city administrator, clerk treasurer, I do not have a step up for them. Like the other departments have a step up for them, I do not have that in my role.
Just ask some questions.
Any other questions or comments? On it?
And if we ever ran into issues in the future, either our council or different councils, once we leave or get replaced, they can always make changes if they see fit.
Policies can be changed by a council member.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other discussion on the proposed amended conflict of interest policy, I would entertain a motion to accept it. I'll make the motion.
I think policy does a good job of exempting the part-time employees, specifically calls out some potential conflicts, which are already state laws, but having a policy like this kind of highlights it, so you don't have to dig through all the Minnesota statutes. I support it.
So second by Borgard, is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to 11, new business. Number 11.1 is Eric Dahlstrom with St. Louis County Public Works regarding our County Highway 110 project.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Grams, councilors. Again, my name is Eric Falls from St. Louis County Public Works. I just wanted to talk with you folks a little bit. I have copies of maps that, I don't know, I think I sent all that stuff to you guys, so it's in your packet, but I guess if anybody here wants to grab some, you can grab some copies of the maps there. Just talk a little bit about the planned project that we have this upcoming summer. It's, we basically started working with Ken and staff for the last several years about some of the curb and gutter issues that we have on 110 through town. So it's basically primarily driven by, reconstruction of that curb and gutter, ADA improvements, sidewalk, those types of things. It's scheduled for 2025 next summer, from basically the arena up to the far end of town, just past Coventry. What we ended up doing was some urban reduction program funds that it's with the new IIJA federal monies that came through. We were able to secure some of those funds through the MnDOT District 1 office for this project, and it's basically promoting any sort of sidewalk, pedestrian bike type improvements for to limit carbon reduction. So with that being said, this is a federal project. So that's one of the reasons why I'm having this public meeting, to just obtain any comments from staff, council, public citizens about the scope of the project. Basically what we're doing is as far as the project goes, it's a mill and fill project, it's kind of how it started out. So we're doing about a 3-inch mill and we're moving all the curb and gutter through the project. And we're also redoing all the sidewalks and putting, new ADA improvements, pedestrian improvements. We're also adding sidewalk along the north side of 110, basically from the arena up to Dorchester, I believe it is. And, just to kind of add sidewalk to the downtown area and kind of promote that pedestrian bike usage through that area with the project. We also will be adding sidewalks as you go further east past Dorchester on the south side of the road, by the water tower there as well, too, all the way to Coventry. So it's kind of a robust, more of a sidewalk pedestrian improvement type project. We're going to be also looking at lighting improvements and from a standpoint of, we have a consultant involved. They've been working with Ken and staff a little bit on what we're going to do as far as lighting. Basically a conversion, utilizing existing light. We may change the light standards. We're still trying to figure that out, but converting them to LED as well too. That's what we're looking at with that. The first part of the project, kind of on the western end from the arena up to the Kensington Drive intersection there, County Road 665, is going to be more of a reconstruction. So it's going to go past the mill and fill stage. Will probably be more of a 13 to 15-inch subcut, because we're going to be redoing some storm sewer in that area as well too. So that's a little bit more of a robust construction through that area. I'm trying to think of what else is as far as the scope of the project. We might be, I guess the idea of the project, everything would be likely done under traffic. There might be some minor detouring depending on the type of work we have to have done, specifically in the intersection here of 110 and Kensington Suffolk intersection. Likely I know I've been working with your consulting engineer, Bolton and Mank, and I believe they have some water and sanitary sewer improvements that they're going to be adding to our plan as well. That would be a city cost responsibility. So I guess with that being said, I guess I don't have a big formal PowerPoint or anything like that as far as the plans for the project. We're thinking hopefully trying to advertise it sometime December, January timeframe, and have a letting maybe January, February timeframe. Hopefully get started, right out of the gate, right after road restrictions sometime in May. And I know you folks have the water carnival in the late part of July. We've been working with staff a little bit on the timing for that, but obviously we'll do the best we can to kind of limit impacts there. And depending, we haven't fully scoped like how long the project will take yet. With any luck, if we have a good summer, everything might be done prior to water project. If we have 2 to 3 months, 2.5 months, say if we have a early spring again. So I guess that's kind of where we're at with timelines and things like that. So with that, I'll just open it up for any questions from council, staff, the public, on the scope of the project. And if there's anything I can answer, I certainly can do that at this time.
Your proposals or any narrowing of the road, or will it stay the same?
Because it's not a full reconstruct, Councilor Beauregard, it would stay the same width. We're looking at, if it were to be a full reconstruction project, we would have a lot more community input as far as like looking at what the options might be. But the idea here is to just kind of keep everything kind of in place. It primarily was driven based on the curb and gutter being just so tough to maintain for city staff and even our county forces. So that's how it started. Then we got the CRP money and said, well, let's expand this to do full sidewalks. So no, as far as width, it's going to stay the same width.
Will this end up running up against the 665 construction as well, or is that?
Well, so 665, we were hopeful to have both of those projects happening in the same year. However, because of some funding concerns, we've had to push back the 665 project right now. So as of right now, that's scheduled for 2027, which is a couple years out. But I told Ken that we are working on the design plans and if we are able to secure some funding, from So what ends up happening is if we can get funding to fund some of our other projects, then we can kind of maybe put this one back on, 665 and move that up a year, so but as of right now, kind of, shifting that out a couple of years out, so they shouldn't be happening, they won't be happening soon.
Are there any questions from any in the audience while Eric's here? No? All right, well, thank you, Eric.
All right, thank you, appreciate it, and we'll keep working with staff as we're kind of working along with plans and just keep you folks updated accordingly, so. All right, thanks, Mom.
Right, moving on, 11.2, resolution 2024-10, accepting the resignation and declaring a vacancy on the White Lakes City Council. Can you explain what you just
So last meeting, the city received the resignation of Mayor Dave Zens, and so we typically accept applications from members of the council who are interested to fill that position, and then once those applications are received, the council will consider those at a meeting, and then the council will appoint the mayor from its own ranks. And then we will accept applications from the public at large to fill that empty council seat. And so it kind of depends on which councillor would accept the mayor position as to exactly what happens after that. If it's in the middle of a 4-year term, that seat would then go up for special election. If it's not in the middle of a 4-year term, it would just run to the end of the year, and it's a regular November election seat, so.
All right, do we need a motion to accept?
Yep, you need to accept the resolution, or you need to adopt the resolution, and in it, it has the requirements. The applications for members of the council are due to me by 4 o'clock on Tuesday, June 18th, for consideration at the 6/24 meeting.
All right, is there a motion to accept the resolution of the vacancy?
I'll make that one.
Motion by Councilor Kramer, is there a second?
Great day back, so I'll support it.
All right, motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. 11.3, nomination to the Rams Board, that's the range area, municipalities and schools. Mayor Finn was on that, so we need an interested council member to express interest in joining that board. Is there anyone willing to do that in monthly meetings, Becky?
They are monthly meetings. I think it's the last Thursday of the month is the regular Rams board meeting, and then they do have daytime meetings occasionally.
Where are those at? Are they Zoom?
There are virtual meetings, and then there's also the opportunity to join those at the Northeast Service Co-op and
I do a few of them in the past. So does that mean I do it? I would not like to nominate Stu if you would like to do that.
Nomination, if he's willing to accept that.
Yeah.
Nominated and seconded, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, thank you, Stuart. They are good meetings, a lot of good connections. I've been to 1 or 2 to fill in for dates, so it'd be nice to have a representative there still. 11.4, application to conduct excluded bingo by the White Lakes Water Carnival Committee, July 27th and 28th in conjunction with the Water Carnival Committee. Is there a motion to accept their application for bingo? Councilor Scott, is there a second?
I'll support it.
And support by Kramer. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Mr. 11.5, resolution 24-11, accept the donation from the Water Carnival Committee. Explain that.
Yep, the Water Carnival Committee has donated an additional $10,000 towards the service counter down at the Midway shelter. And so they have paid the full $12,500 for that service counter, and we thank them for that donation.
All right, is there a motion to accept the resolutions?
Make that motion.
Motion by Counselor Kramer, is there a second?
Support.
Support by Beauregard, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried, if you can stop the counter done in time for waterfront.
You should have done something.
All right, 11.6, the 2025 golf course clubhouse manager.
So, Dan Darbo took it on in 2024. He has expressed his interest in no longer doing it. And so, last year we advertised multiple times throughout the summer. We received no interest. The council last year, I should say, we received one interested party who then later said that they weren't interested in taking it on. You know, the council last year expressed that they were open to any ideas that people have, you know, a current business, or if a group of friends wanted to run it, kind of whatever we can do to keep it running. But we do need to get advertising out there and, members of the public to put into that position, because otherwise, unfortunately, we won't be able to run the conference.
So is this just informational that we can start advertising?
Usually I ask for a motion to move forward with advertising for that position.
Is there any other discussion, any other ideas? If not, I'll take a motion to start advertising.
I'll make that motion.
The motion by Counselor Kramer, is there a second? Support by Scott, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. 11.7, Ranger ATV Stoneville Club pay application number 3 in the amount of $138,976.45 to Jola and Sop for the Moose Trail. By Waback to Skyboat connection. Again, we're just a pass through for the funds. The project is scheduled to be completed, is it by the end of, it has to be done by the end of this month of June. Is there a motion to pay the bill?
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Beauregard, is there a second? I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Brings us to the end. Motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Kramer, is there a second?
Have there been any applications or anybody that has said they're gonna run for mayor this year? Because wasn't Dave's term was up in December, wasn't it?
The filing period for the open seats is not till July 30th.
But has anybody, oh, you can't file?
Correct, open until July 30th.
Because we don't have a primary election.
Much kind of. It should be better.
I will second that motion for adjournment. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming.